here in Festival Place today with a little tear in my eye because to me it's the end of an era that made Festival Place what it is today. I'm here with Gavin Farmer, and Gavin, you are going to be on to different projects.
Yes, yeah. December 31, it's the end of 24 years and 2 months.
Wow.
Being at Festival Place, almost since the beginning.
It writes, and you actually have made Festival Place, in my opinion, the powerhouse theater that it is in the capital region. So kudos to you. Gavin, look back at some of the things that you did. What are a few of them that stand out in your mind?
Okay, so we do a lot of different businesses and different things here. So in terms of what maybe most people know us as, we're a professional house. And so we do road tours. Companies that are coming through or artists that are coming through, we present on stage. And so we've had some pretty remarkable artists here. And I was actually thinking about who were the best, in terms of impact, not the best, but the ones that you'll never, ever, ever forget. And so there are quite a few, number one being Jesse Winchester, who has a unique and brilliant story, and Alan Toussaint. And they actually do stick out because I've actually also counted them up because you talked to me a little bit about what you wanted to talk about. We booked over 2,000 acts in that period.
Wow.
So I can't keep track of who they all were or when they all came. But you know, that's been a remarkable thing, and it's been really great because I think I only missed about 10 or 15 of those shows because it's the fruits of your labor. There's nothing more delightful than being able to go listen to really good music, no matter whether it be a country show or a folk show or whatever. The second area, and I don't know if it's not maybe the first area, is the community kind of things that we did here, and hopefully will all endure. So when we first came here, the community didn't know what to do with the building, basically. I mean, it was here, and I think there was a lot of pride in how it looked and how it felt, but what the heck happens in it and all that kind of stuff was quite lost. And we started way back then a thing that we now call the Patio Series. And it really focuses on bringing mainly local regional artists into the venue every single Wednesday.
I know, and people are here hours before it actually starts to get their seats.
Indeed, yeah, they show up at 5 o'clock now for a 7:30 show. And the neat thing about it was a way of really introducing people to what they could experience here. So we insisted on only one thing, and that is if there was a country act in the first half, then it couldn't be a country act in the second half. So by default, if you chose to come, you were going to experience something that you may not think you liked, but might discover that you liked. It has just grown and grown. It started with like 20, 25 people for the first 3 years. Last year, we were just short of 600 almost every single week. Wow. The other thing that there are two more things that I really feel really good about is the community theater experience here. Our community theater in the Christmas season started out as sort of a, well, speak in hushed tones because this can cost a lot of money. It can be very risky. It's all sorts of things. But I think we're up to the 16th season now, and we do Broadway musicals, but we use only community theater people, only community theater orchestra, driven by professionals who come in and teach all those amateurs how to be better at what they do. And at some point, we got the Rotary Club to come into the picture to support even more kind of enrichment. Like if there's a fencing scene, well, we should get a fencing coach instead of just figuring out how to do it, maybe so that it looks okay. So we've done all that. We now have a show every Christmas that goes for 16 performances, over 6,000 guests. And it's at a level of achievement and accomplishment that people really, really come here as the first alternative to our major professional theater in the region. The price point is good. It's a family tradition. There are clubs. There's all sorts of community groups come to that show.
I would say you have totally raised the bar in amateur theater because to come to those shows, it's like coming to a professional production because they've had that experience.
Well, yeah, well, Mary flew, you know, in Mary Poppins, and you know, but when you do the walk across the proscenium, you know, it all happened. It happened like the real thing, and that's because we've really made 150% commitment, and you have to do that. You have to say you're going to do it, and it may or may not work. And through time, it will take. People will say, this is something worthwhile doing because it's really good for us as a community. Not for individuals particularly, but for us as a community, this is a great thing to be happening here. So you can't help. Also, the other interesting aspect of it, of course, is that our professional staff here grow too, because you give them opportunities to do things that typically only, in this part of the world, only the Citadel would be able to do. So, you know, we bring in the flying crews to teach our crew how to fly. We're having the rainstorm in Singing in the Rain, which is this Christmas, and they had a full 2 weeks. Our guys had a full 2 weeks to figure it out, demo it, and be confident that they could do a storm that 35 people could dance in. And it's all going to happen on our stage. So to me, that's just, it's gold. Again, you get so many different kind of people here. They bring their older people, bring their grandchildren. You know, it's wonderful. It really is. And then can I mention the third thing?
Certainly.
The third thing that I think, again, is remarkable because it wasn't visualized as what it became. We decided we wanted to do a circus camp in the summer. And the concept was that there are a whole bunch of kids that just don't fit into hockey or basketball or whatever. There's lots of wonderful camps, there really are. But there were a whole bunch of kids that don't have that kind of interest. So we actually pulled together with, and again with corporate support, we developed a program that brought in 9 professional circus performers. Everybody makes their living, at least for part of the year, because some of them are educators in other parts of the year, from doing the skills that they teach here. Every single year, we have 200 plus children come here for 2 weeks to learn how to walk a wire, how to do stilts, how to juggle, how to be clowns, and it's totally remarkable because what you're finding, what we found is that there's a whole bunch of kids that really never fit any place in the past, but this whole theatrical thing really is part of them, and they were just looking for the outlet, and we were just slow to find it.
But you did find it.
We found it. We found it. And so that, to me, is just an enormous accomplishment. The secondary aspect of it was that we found that a lot of people were really interested. The first question was, have you got kids that can't afford to come to your camp? It sounds like a really neat camp. And we actually run a fairly aggressive fundraising program now, and we take referrals from Family and Community Social Services of kids that need to have a good positive summer experience, and they come to camp, and they, like every other kid their age, have a chance to grow and to learn and to just to really enjoy some of the joy of being successful.
Right.
They can be successful at whatever they're at. So those are the hot damn things.
Well, those are pretty hot damn good. Gavin, what would your wish for Festival Place be in the future? What would you like to see? Because I know you're never going to be too far away from it.
If anything, it might sound a wee bit tedious, but I wish we had. I don't think we need a larger theater. I don't think we need larger event rooms. I think we need workshop space, because the reality of a space like this is you should really be. Theaters are community development projects when they're in suburban communities. Like the Citadel will never be, but out here, out in St. Albert, all the places we have community theaters, we should be offering opportunities for people that just have an interest in the whole experience of what theater and music is about. We're like a shopping center. We have no background space. Everything is a retail. It's right at the front end. We need that background space. We have a wonderful gentleman here in Sherwood Park has given us a warehouse space to build the set. for Singing in the Rain and Frost, another show that's coming up, has given us space that really quite, except for the height, you could put 3 747s in it. And we've used all of it. And that's the kind of thing that would make this sort of a real live dynamic space 12 months of the year, 24 hours a day, because there's so many people could get joy out of that kind of experience. Because I've been working, I don't sort of maybe understand all the time, but I was up to the warehouse 4 or 5 times when they were working up there on it. And I got some friends up there that they discovered theater when they retired. And they're painting, and they're just loving it, and they're really so engaged, and it's such a meaningful, positive thing for them, you know? And that should be part of what this is about. And unfortunately, that can't be realized on an ongoing basis, because you're sort of freeloading space here and freeloading space there. It should be part of what this is about. It should be thought of in terms of, have we got costume space so that somebody can come in and say, I have a design. Kids over at Archbishop Jordan have beautiful renderings of costumes. They should be able to bring that rendering into a real live shop and build that costume.
Does it have to be attached to the theater, Gavin?
No, it doesn't. Ideally, it would be convenient to have it, but no, absolutely not. But that gives the whole experience a little more depth, and I think the kind of substance that ultimately people maybe don't quite realize could be the real potential of the whole place. You know, that we're doing lots of good things, but there's still a lot more to be realized.
So we haven't heard the last of you yet. You're going to be around, and I know you're going to do some things with us, Gavin. I
Yes,
think
indeed.
so.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
going to be so exciting, and that tear will leave my eye then. But you have left a legacy and boots to fill that are going to be very difficult to fill. And I know I have no authority on behalf of the community, but I do have authority on behalf of the friends that I know and that have been involved in this theater project since it was not
Yes.
even a building.
Yes.
You have made
in the
it
eye.
the heart of the community. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being so kind.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah.
been a joy. So we haven't seen the last of Gavin yet. I know that, and I'm looking forward to his experiences, his knowledge of theater, and his enthusiasm to continue to develop what we have in our community. And I guess if there's something that we could create as a legacy, it would be to add that extra building. And so let's get on that. From Festival Place in Sherwood Park, I'm Jacquie Fenske, and this is 360 Alberta.